There are places in the American Southwest where people learn very early not to answer when they hear their name called at night. Not because they believe in legends, but because too many of them have learned the hard way what happens when they do. Across deserts, canyons and snow-covered plains, witnesses describe the same moments of realization. The sound of footsteps where no one should be walking. A voice that sounds familiar, close, urgent, and wrong. A figure standing just beyond the reach of light, watching without moving. These are not stories of panic or confusion. They are stories of recognition, of knowing in a single instant that whatever is out there is not lost. Not confused, but aware, and worse still, that it has noticed you. Some time ago, we examined a series of reports describing encounters with something far older and far stranger than the landscapes it inhabits. Among those accounts were statements from highway patrol officers who claimed to have come face to face with a figure that moved with unnatural speed, a mechanic who confronted a misshapen silhouette on a deserted marina, and a family who watched three impossible shapes gather silently along their fence line in the dead of night together. Those reports painted a portrait of a presence unlike anything else in American folklore. Not something that merely frightens, but something that observes, follows, and chooses. Those cases seemed extraordinary, isolated, difficult to verify, but they were only the beginning since that episode aired. Additional reports have surfaced from across the Southwest, from remote highways and rural properties, from woodland edges and frozen fields. Many of them echo the same disturbing details. A presence glimpsed just beyond the glow of torchlight. Footsteps approaching slowly across open ground. Shapes that appear almost human, yet wrong in ways witnesses struggle to describe. Most unsettling of all is the consistency. These individuals are separated by distance, culture, and circumstance. Yet when pressed to describe what they encountered, their recollections form the same grotesque outline. Figures whose movements suggest biomechanics that do not function as they should. Eyes that reflect light with an intelligence that feels invasive. Voices that imitate loved ones with chilling accuracy. For many, these encounters mark the end of ordinary life and the beginning of something far more troubling. A lingering certainty that what they encountered was not an animal, nor a trick of the imagination, but a predator that had taken an interest in them specifically. We will examine 4 such encounters, and as the details unfold, one question becomes impossible to ignore. What happens when something ancient learns how to sound human and decides to use it? In the winter of 2010, a family living in rural Utah experienced a series of events that would alter their understanding of isolation forever. They lived several miles outside the nearest town, on a property bordered by open fields and a thin line of woodland that stretched toward the foothills. In daylight, the landscape felt quiet and expansive. At night, especially during winter, it felt exposed. There were no nearby neighbors, no streetlights, and no traffic sounds after dark. When snow fell, the world beyond the house seemed to disappear entirely. That December arrived colder than usual. Storms moved through frequently, coating the fields in deep snow and forcing the family indoors earlier each evening. They spent more time together, keeping the fire lit and the curtains drawn once night fell. At first, nothing about this felt unusual. The first incident occurred on a Sunday evening. Shortly after 9 o'clock, the youngest child, a 9-year-old boy, stepped outside to collect firewood from the stack near the shed. He brought the family dog with him, a golden retriever that usually followed him everywhere without hesitation. That night, however, the animal refused to leave the porch. The dog stood rigid, staring toward the tree line at the edge of the property. Its hackles were raised, and its body trembled as if bracing against something unseen. The boy called to it several times, growing irritated, then confused. The dog did not respond. Moments later, a bark echoed from the far corner of the field. It was unmistakable. The sound matched the retriever's bark exactly, The same pitch, the same cadence, even the same brief pause at the end. The boy turned toward the sound, expecting to see his dog bounding through the snow dot instead. When he glanced back toward the porch, the retriever was still there. Frozen, silent. A second bark rang out. This time from near the barn dock, the boy panicked and ran back inside, calling for his parents. They ushered him in quickly, closing and locking the door behind them. They told him it was likely a coyote, though none of them truly believed that explanation. The behavior of their dog unsettled them far more than the sound itself. The following night, just after midnight, the family was awakened by a heavy thump against the side of the house. The impact was strong enough to rattle the windows. Believing that a branch may have fallen from one of the nearby trees, the father put on his coat and stepped outside with a torch. The yard was undisturbed. No broken limbs. No animal tracks. Nothing out of place. What he did find was a wide, shallow depression in the snow beside the wall, as though something large had been pressed there for several minutes. The snow around it was smooth and untouched. 2 nights later, the disturbances escalated. The mother was in the kitchen, preparing hot chocolate for the children when she heard tapping at the window. Expecting to see her husband returning from outside, she stepped closer and froze. A face was visible just beyond the glass. Its features were obscured by frost, but she could see pale skin and eyes reflecting the kitchen light in a way no human eyes should. The reflection was flat, animalistic, unblinking. She screamed. Her husband ran to the back door and rushed outside, scanning the area with his torch. The snow beneath the window was pristine. No footprints, no drag marks, nothing. Despite his assurances, his wife was adamant about what she had seen. They did not contact the police. The story felt impossible to explain. Instead, they closed the blinds after dark and brought the dog inside earlier each evening. For several days, nothing else occurred. Then, on the night of December 23rd, the father stepped outside to lock the shed before turning in. The cold air burned his lungs as he crossed the yard. Snow crunched loudly beneath his boots, each step echoing in the stillness. As he reached the shed door, he heard the dog whining behind him. When he turned, the dog was standing on the porch. The whining continued, from somewhere off to his left. Then a soft voice called his name. It sounded exactly like his wife. He took a step toward the sound, then another. The voice repeated itself closer now, but warped in a way he couldn't immediately place. The tone was strained, as if spoken through clenched teeth. He stopped in that moment. He realized the snow around him was untouched. No footprints, but his own dot as he backed toward the house. A tall figure emerged at the edge of the field. Its proportions were wrong. Its arms hung too low. Its posture bent forward, and its head shifted subtly, refusing to hold a fixed shape. It stepped toward him without haste. The father ran as he fled. The voice called out again, this time imitating his daughter. The pitch was perfect. The phrasing was not. She was begging for help in a tone she had never used. The family spent the rest of the night awake, huddled together in the living room. For hours, something scraped its fingernails slowly along the siding of the house, traveling from one end to the other, then back again. The sound was deliberate, unhurried. The dog hid beneath the coffee table and would not move. When morning finally came, the only sign of their visitor was a single line of shallow impressions leading across the yard toward the open fields. Each print was spaced impossibly far apart. They moved the following spring. Whatever had come to them that winter had not wandered there by chance, it had come with intent.